All right, so looks like we're diving into the world of flirting today.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, someone sent in this video called 6 Amazing Ways to Flirt with Any Woman. So obviously it's coming from a particular angle.
Yeah.
But I think the interesting thing is,
Yeah.
even if you're not a guy
Right.
or looking to flirt with women specifically, there's some good stuff in here about just connecting with people.
Exactly.
Like how to be more engaging and,
Yeah.
just spark those
Spark a little something.
little sparks of interest.
Yeah.
So,
And it's interesting how this video, like right off the bat,
yeah.
jumps into confidence as like the foundation.
Yeah, they make a really big deal about confidence. Like, that's like
Mhm.
the #1 thing.
It's the key.
And they even say, like, fake it till you make it,
Yeah.
which I've always been kind of skeptical about.
With like specifically your posture
Is that really,
and how you carry yourself.
is that actually good advice?
So there's a whole
Does that really work?
field of research called embodiment,
Oh, interesting.
and it suggests that it actually does.
Okay. So, like, even if you don't feel confident,
It turns out our posture and body language
just like
don't just reflect how we feel.
putting on that
It can actually influence our emotions.
confident front can actually help.
So standing tall with an open chest
Hmm.
isn't just about looking confident.
Right.
It might actually make you feel more confident.
Interesting.
Precisely.
So they talk about, the source also mentions minimizing fidgeting.
Yeah, minimizing fidget.
Yeah. But
It's not just about appearing more composed.
not just looking.
When we fidget,
Yeah.
it can signal anxiety to others and to our own brains.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's fascinating.
you listening right now,
Yeah.
try sitting up straighter.
I'm trying it.
See if you feel a shift.
I think I could already feel a difference.
Interesting.
Okay, so posture
Yeah.
is a power move.
Posture is a power move.
What about
Sure.
eye contact?
Mm-hmm.
The source has this 3-second rule.
Okay.
3 seconds of eye contact.
Okay.
Then a smile, nod, or wave.
All right.
Like, is
That's
that-
an interesting question?
Is that like some universal flirting
Eye contact is definitely powerful.
font code I've been missing out on?
But it's not a one-size-fits-all signal.
Right.
Like, what's considered flirty in one culture could be seen as aggressive or inappropriate in another.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So 3 seconds.
So the 3 seconds might be a good starting point,
Yeah.
but reading the room is key.
Reading the room.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about,
What about that awkward moment?
yeah, like that awkward moment
When you're caught staring?
when you're like, I've been making eye contact,
Yeah.
but now I've been caught.
The source says to hold the gaze
Right.
a little longer,
Yeah.
then smile and look away.
Is that like...
Is it playing it cool or just creepy? It's fascinating.
I've always wondered about that.
Little dance.
Yeah. Actually. Like, is that just making it worse?
Briefly extending the eye contact can show
Right.
you're not just glancing randomly, you're
Man.
intentionally engaging.
Right.
The smile is crucial.
Okay.
It softens the intensity and adds a playful element.
So it's like,
It's saying, I see you and I'm interested.
I see you.
Yeah.
I acknowledge you.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, so there's a fine line
So there's a fine line
between confident and stalkerish.
between confident and stalker-ish.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Now, the source also talks about humor.
Mm-hmm.
And these seem to be going beyond just like cracking jokes.
Right.
Like, they're really emphasizing,
They're emphasizing the connection building
yeah,
aspect of laughter.
like shared laughter.
Yes.
Like,
They even warn against.
yeah, they say like, don't be too
Very
self-deprecating.
much self-deprecating humor.
Yeah,
Which can be a confidence killer.
yeah.
They gave a pretty good example
Oh, yeah. What was the example? Yeah.
of a joke you could use.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you're in a long coffee line.
Okay.
You could turn to the person next to you and say,
Yeah.
do you think this line is long because everyone's ordering something that takes 10 minutes to pronounce?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's observational.
Yeah, it's lighthearted.
Lighthearted.
It's not like,
Yeah.
trying too hard.
It shows you're present in the moment
Yeah,
and can find humor in the mundane.
exactly.
And it invites the other person to share in
Yeah.
that moment of amusement,
Yeah,
which can be a great way to break the ice.
that's like a shared...
That's
great-
not just about being funny.
Yeah,
It's about using humor
right.
to create a shared experience.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got confidence.
Okay.
We've got eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
We've got humor.
Yep.
Now there's this other technique
Okay.
that seems like walking a tightrope.
Okay.
Playful teasing.
Playful
Like
teasing.
the source is all about...
Teasing can be incredibly effective. for building attraction.
This push-pull dynamic.
But you're right, it's all about nuance and calibration.
Yeah, you have to be so careful with that.
You have to be able to read the other person's signals and make sure you're not crossing any lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the example they give is...
The example they give is teasing someone about their musical taste,
Yeah.
but then immediately softening it with a compliment. Like, oh, you're one of those fans.
Right.
I should known. Just kidding, you have great taste.
Exactly.
That's a perfect example
It's like you're poking fun.
of how to use teasing
Yeah.
in a playful, flirty way.
But also like acknowledging something positive.
You're poking fun, but you're also acknowledging something
Yeah.
positive about them.
Right.
The key is to make sure your tone and body language convey
Yeah, like you're not...
that you're being lighthearted, not mean-spirited.
Right, right.
And that's where confidence comes back in.
Oh, there it is again.
Yeah.
Confident.
If you deliver that line with a smirk and a twinkle in your eye, it reads totally different than if you mumble it with a frown.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It all goes back to confidence.
It all goes back to confidence.
Confidence.
Like, confidence is the foundation upon which all these other techniques
Like the bedrock.
are built.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of potentially risky moves,
Oh, boy.
the source even touches on physical touch.
Yeah, this is where things get even more delicate.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is a
Consent and respecting boundaries are absolutely crucial here.
minefield.
The source talks about subtle touches,
Yeah.
like a light touch on the shoulder
Right.
or an elbow buff,
Like just breaking the
Oh,
touch
it-
barrier.
breaking the touch barrier.
Yeah, but only if the other person
But only if the other
was
person
clearly receptive.
is clearly receptive.
Right.
Yeah, you're testing the waters
Yeah.
and you're always ready to back off.
Yeah, you got
If
to
the other person seems uncomfortable,
be ready to abort.
the key is to be mindful and respectful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth noting
Yeah.
the touch norms
Yes, very different.
vary widely across cultures.
Yeah.
So
A good thing to
what might be seen as friendly in one culture
be aware of.
could be considered overly foreign in another.
Right, right. So once
That's one.
again,
Reading the room.
reading the room is key.
It seems like being attuned to the other person
Being attuned to the other person
is more important
is more important
than any specific technique.
than any specific technique.
Yeah. But what about compliments?
Yeah. You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Pretty straightforward, right?
But there's a real art
Like, who doesn't like a compliment?
to giving compliments that are both genuine and impactful.
Oh.
The source makes a good point
All right.
about going beyond superficial compliments on physical appearance.
Yeah, they actually recommend
They actually
complimenting something specific. Complimenting something specific
about the person's energy
about the person's energy or personality.
or personality.
Instead of, you're beautiful,
Yeah,
they suggest something like,
right.
you have such an amazing energy.
You have such a great energy.
It's really refreshing.
Yeah, like that.
Exactly.
Pretty bad.
It shows you're paying attention to them
Yeah.
as an individual, not just objectifying them.
Right.
And it's much more memorable than a generic compliment
Yes. Yeah.
you could give to anyone.
Specific.
Yeah.
So it's about genuine appreciation,
So it's about genuine appreciation,
not just trying to
not just trying to score points.
score points.
Yeah.
The source also
The
emphasized
source also emphasizes
the importance of being specific
the importance of being specific with compliments.
with compliments
Yeah.
instead of "I like your outfit."
Specific compliments show that you're truly observant
Right.
and that your words are tailored to that person.
You put some thought into it.
Instead of, I like your outfit, you could say something like, that color really brings out your eyes. Right. It's stunning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm getting the sense that detail is everything when it comes to flirting.
Detail is everything when it comes to flirting.
You have to be present,
You have to be present
observant,
and responsive.
responsive to the other person.
And responsive to the other person.
Yeah, but hold on.
Hold on.
There's one more tip the source throws in,
There's one more.
and it seems like a bit of a wild card.
Oh boy, a wild card.
Sarcasm.
Ah, yes, the double-edged sword of flirting.
Really?
Sarcasm can be incredibly attractive when it's done well.
Okay.
It signals wit, intelligence, and a playful personality.
Right.
But it can also backfire spectacularly if it's misinterpreted.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Like if someone doesn't...
The source even admits it's risky.
Yeah.
If the other person doesn't share your sense of humor or misreads your tone.
Right.
Exactly.
So proceed with caution.
So proceed with caution.
And maybe save the sarcasm.
And maybe save the sarcasm.
For when you've already established a bit of rapport.
For when you've already established a bit of rapport.
Yeah. It's interesting, though.
It's interesting, though.
Because they also talk about confidence.
Because they also talk about confidence.
Being key. Making sarcasm land well.
To making sarcasm land well.
So again, it all comes back to
absolutely
confidence.
When you're confident in yourself and your delivery,
yeah,
it's much easier to convey that you're being playful,
right,
not mean-spirited.
Like you're in control.
It's like you're saying, I'm comfortable enough with you to be a little cheeky.
Right.
If you're mumbling and unsure of yourself.
Yeah, it just comes across as...
The sarcasm can lose its charm and turn into awkwardness.
Yeah, awkward or mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once again...
It
all circles back to confidence.
It all circles back to confidence.
Like it's the secret ingredient.
It's like the secret ingredient.
That makes all these other techniques more effective.
That makes all these other techniques more effective.
We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From the importance of confidence.
From the importance of confidence.
And eye contact.
Eye contact.
To the nuances of humor.
To the nuances of humor.
Teasing and even.
Teasing and
even. Risky business of sarcasm.
The risky business of sarcasm.
What are your thoughts so far?
It's been fascinating.
Yeah.
To unpack these techniques.
Yeah, me too.
Especially seeing how they all...
It's interesting how they all...
intertwine and build upon each other.
Yeah, like they're all connected.
It's clear that flirting is more than just a set of tricks.
Okay.
It's an art form
it's like
that requires self-awareness, social intelligence.
Yeah, it's a skill.
And a genuine desire to connect.
It's not something you can just...
But most importantly, it should be fun.
Yeah. You're supposed to enjoy it.
You're supposed to enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like...
It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Yeah, it's stressful.
It should feel like a playful fun.
Like a game.
Yeah, like a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick pause here.
Take a quick pause here.
But when we come back,
we'll
explore some real-world examples.
We'll dive into some real-world examples.
Of these techniques in action.
Yeah.
And see how you can put this knowledge to use in your own life.
Exactly. So don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to our deep dive into flirting.
Yes.
We've been talking about all these techniques from 6 amazing ways to flirt with any woman.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's important to remember that even though the source is geared towards men,
right,
a lot of these principles
absolutely
can apply to anyone.
These underlying principles of connection are applicable to anyone in all sorts of situations.
Like, even if you're not looking for a romantic connection,
right,
you can still use these techniques to just be more charming and
be more engaging. Yeah.
Like, I think about like flirting with your barista.
Absolutely.
You know, or you're not necessarily trying to get a date with your barista.
Right.
But you're still just trying...
Being charming.
Yeah, just like making someone smile.
Make someone's day a little brighter.
Exactly.
And I think that's a really valuable skill.
It's all about intention.
Yeah.
What's your goal with your flirting?
Right.
Are you trying to get a date, make a friend, or just have a fun, lighthearted interaction?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing your intention can help you calibrate your approach.
Okay, so intention is important.
Intention is important.
But regardless of your intention...
Or regardless of your intention,
what's
the key is to be genuine and responsive.
Key takeaway here?
It's not about following a script.
Yeah.
It's about adapting these techniques to the specific situation and the person you're interacting with.
It's like you're not trying to force anything.
Right.
You're
reading the room, you're picking up on those subtle cues,
Yeah.
And you're adjusting your approach accordingly.
It's almost like learning a new language.
That's a great analogy.
The language of flirting.
Flirting is a language of nonverbal cues, playful banter, and subtle signals.
And I guess the more fluent you become.
And the more fluent you become in that language,
the better you'll be at connecting with people.
The more effectively you'll be able to connect with others.
So what advice would you give to someone who's feeling a little rusty?
I'd say start small.
Yeah.
Practice making eye contact and smiling at people you encounter throughout your day.
Mm-hmm.
Strike up conversations with cashiers, baristas, or people standing in line with you.
Yeah, like just little.
Those low-stakes interactions.
Low-stakes interactions.
Can be a great way to warm up your flirting muscles.
Yeah.
Without feeling too much pressure.
Like just get comfortable with the process.
It's about getting comfortable with the process and building your confidence.
Yeah. And I guess the more you do it.
It's a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
The more you try, the more likely you are to find someone who's also interested in connecting.
You're going to strike out sometimes.
Absolutely. And remember, not every interaction is going to lead to fireworks.
Right.
Sometimes it's just about making someone's day a little brighter.
Yeah.
And who knows, that small spark of connection could lead to something more meaningful down the line.
Exactly. And speaking of confidence,
Okay.
I wanted to circle back to something the source mentioned.
Okay.
This idea of faking it till you make it.
Yeah.
Now, I know we touched on this earlier with posture,
Mm-hmm.
but is there any truth to that concept in general?
Absolutely.
Really?
It's all about creating a positive feedback loop.
Okay.
When you act confident, even if you don't feel it entirely,
Yeah.
it can actually change your internal state.
Interesting.
So even if you're feeling nervous or insecure,
Just putting on that front.
putting on a confident front
Yeah.
can actually help shift your mindset.
So it's like you're sending signals to your brain.
Exactly.
Not that you're capable
It's
to.
about sending signals to your brain that you're capable and in control. Remember, your mind and body are constantly influencing each other.
Mhm.
So if you act confident,
Your brain's going to be like, oh, wait, I guess I am confident.
your brain will start to catch up and believe it.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So it's not about waiting until you feel confident to start flirting.
Exactly.
It's about using those external behaviors.
It's about using those external behaviors to help build your confidence from the ground up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I could never flirt, I'm too shy.
Remember, everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Take baby steps, practice those confident behaviors,
Mm-hmm.
and you might be surprised at how quickly you start feeling more comfortable in your own skin.
That's really encouraging.
And most importantly, have fun with it.
Yeah, you're supposed to enjoy it.
Flirting should be enjoyable, not stressful.
Right.
Embrace the playful, lighthearted nature of the interaction.
Mhm.
And don't take yourself too seriously.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive, I'd love to hear your take on this.
Okay.
If you could add one golden rule of flirting
One golden rule of flirting.
to everything we've discussed, what would it be?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think my golden rule would be
Okay.
genuinely curious about the other person.
Ooh, I like that.
Flirting shouldn't be all about you and your efforts to impress. It should be about creating a space where both people feel seen, heard, and appreciated.
It's like you're shifting the focus
Exactly.
from trying to win someone over
From trying to win someone over to simply enjoying the interaction and getting to know someone new.
to just having a good time
Exactly.
and learning about someone.
And that shift in perspective can make all the difference.
That's beautiful.
When you approach flirting with genuine curiosity and a desire to connect,
Oh.
it takes the pressure off and allows for a more relaxed and enjoyable experience.
It's less about performance and more about connection.
Exactly.
So, listeners, as you venture out into the world armed with these flirting techniques, remember to stay true to yourself. Respect boundaries.
Yes.
And most importantly, have fun.
And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic.
Yes.
What are your golden rules of flirting?
Yeah.
Share your insights with us on social media using the hashtag #TheDeepDive.
We'd love to hear from you. Okay, so we're back.
Back for round 3.
Round 3 of flirting.
Flirting.
Yeah, as we've been kind of dissecting all these different techniques and stuff, I keep thinking about like how
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it really boils down to connection.
Absolutely.
Like that's what it's all about.
It's about expressing interest,
Yeah.
creating a spark, and building rapport with another person.
And it's got to be mutual,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it can't just be.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
It's not just about sending the right signals. It's
Yeah.
also about being receptive to the signals you're receiving.
Like being aware of how the other person is responding.
Exactly.
So it's like a back and forth,
It's a back and forth.
not just like
It's a dance.
one way.
Yeah, it's not about following a script or trying to force a connection.
Right.
It's about being present in the moment,
Yeah.
paying attention to the other person's cues,
Right.
and responding authentically.
And being willing to adjust your approach
Absolutely.
based on what you're seeing.
It's about being adaptable and adjusting your approach based on the situation
Yeah.
and the person you're interacting with.
Like what works for one person.
What works for one person might not work for another,
Yeah.
and what works in one context
Right.
might be completely inappropriate in another.
Like you don't want to be like doing the same
Yeah,
flirting moves
exactly.
at a funeral as you would
Exactly.
like at a party.
You got to read the room.
Yeah, you got to read the room.
You got to be mindful. You got to be respectful.
Right.
You got to be attuned to the subtle dynamics of the interaction.
It's like that dance
we were talking about.
You got to be in sync with your partner.
You got to be in sync.
Yeah. So for those of us out there who are like...
So for the folks who are feeling a little rusty.
Yeah, who are feeling a little rusty.
In their flirting skills.
Maybe it's been a while.
What's the best way to get back in the game?
Yeah. How do we get back in the game?
I'd say start small.
Okay.
Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Be a master flirt right out of the gate.
You don't have to be like a Casanova.
No.
Right away.
You don't have to be hitting home runs every time.
Okay, so start small.
Right.
What does that look like?
Practice making eye contact and smiling
Okay.
at people you encounter throughout your day.
Right.
Strike up conversations with cashiers, baristas,
Mm-hmm.
or people standing in line with you.
They're just like...
Just little low-stakes interactions
no mistakes.
can be a great way to warm up your flirting muscles.
Okay.
Without feeling too much pressure.
Like, just get comfortable talking to people.
Exactly.
And not necessarily, like, expecting it to lead to anything.
And remember, not every interaction has to lead to a date or a relationship.
No.
Sometimes it's just about brightening someone's day.
Yeah.
Or making a connection with a fellow human being.
Just like a nice little moment.
Just a nice little moment.
Yeah.
A little spark of joy.
And you know what? Even if it doesn't lead to a date,
Mm-hmm.
like, that still makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good. It boosts your moods.
Yeah.
Broadens your social circle.
It gets you out of your shell a little bit.
It gets you out of your shell, and you never know.
Yeah.
It could open up unexpected opportunities.
Right. Like, that barista could end up being your best friend.
You never know.
You never know.
And as you become more comfortable with the process,
Mhm.
you can start to experiment with some of the techniques we've discussed.
like all the stuff we talked
But
about.
like playful teasing, genuine compliments,
Mm-hmm.
even a little bit of well-timed sarcasm.
If you're feeling brave,
If you're feeling brave,
but always with respect.
always with respect,
Authenticity
authenticity,
and curiosity.
and genuine curiosity about the other person.
Right? Like, actually wanting to get to know them.
Exactly.
Not just trying to,
It's not about trying to get something from them.
yeah, get them into bed.
It's about genuinely connecting with another human being.
Like a human-to-human
Human to human.
connection.
That's what it's all about.
Well, I think this has been a really fascinating deep dive.
I think so too.
I feel like I've learned a lot
Me too.
about flirting.
We've gone beyond the surface level of flirting techniques
Yeah.
and explored the deeper psychological principles
Right. It's more than just like,
that underpin successful connection.
yeah, pickup lines.
It's about being your best, most authentic self
Yeah.
and expressing a genuine interest in another human being.
I love that. So listener,
So listeners,
as you go forth
as you go forth and flirt,
and flirt,
remember to bring your curiosity, your authenticity, and your respect.
yeah, be yourself, be respectful,
And most importantly, have fun.
have fun.
Flirting should be a joyful experience, not a stressful one.
That's a great note to end on.
And who knows?
You know, you might just spark a connection that changes your life.
Until next time,
Happy flirting.
happy flirting, everyone.